I'm Jane. I'm a compulsive overeater. Um, my abstinent date, I'll say that first before I forget to say it, which is the most important date, is the 28th of May, 2009, which actually gives me 13 and a third years, I think. I said on the Saturday meeting it was 13 and a half years, but then I thought about it after, it's 13 and a third, a day at a time, a wonderful day at a time. I weigh and measure my meals 3 times a day. I don't eat anything in between. I don't want to eat anything in between. My meals fulfill me. My grey sheet meals fulfill me. They satisfy me. They're the most nurturing, loving thing I do for myself on a daily basis, and therefore making it the most important thing for me to function in this world. And abstinence, very important. And a friend actually said to me yesterday, and she's not one to give compliments easily at all. She's quite blunt, actually. And she's had a few sort of sniffs around my food plan sometimes, but not bad. I've had people protest, I've had people, and we were discussing a certain food item, and she actually says, you do eat a lot of that, which comes under the heading of salad, so I won't say what the food is. And I said, yeah, I do. I said, and I thoroughly enjoy it. And, I've got to keep this, I've got a source that, And she said to me, yes, you've got a lovely slim figure, but you're curvy as well. So I thought, well, that's high praise indeed, coming from her. She's never, ever said that. And she certainly wouldn't have said that to me 13 and a third years ago, or however many years ago, when the weight started piling on, and just a bit of a back picture. And, I come from, my parents were alcoholics, both of them. So I was brought up in an alcoholic home, and all that entails: self-centeredness, strong will, some horror and trauma there, which I won't go into here. I deal with in another fellowship. But I said, I'll never be like them. I said, I'll never. And one by one, that disease has picked my family members off. Parents died reasonably young. I have sisters who are affected by the disease. And of course, I was never going to be like them. So I turned to food, because food was respectable and I wasn't as bad as them. The thinking, the stinking thinking that comes with addiction, really, So anyway, I married young out of that family. It was an opportunity to get out and away. And I had these 2 wonderful children, and that marriage was 15 years on and off. But, I don't think throughout that 15 years, I smoked cigarettes a lot, which kept me slim. I felt, I didn't really put the weight on so much with them. It was after the divorce that I turned to, I won't mention it, but things that we certainly don't eat. And the weight piled on. And I even knew then that, this was something deeper than, this was food somehow. And of course, I joined Weight Watchers, and I lost 3 stone there, which I think is 45 pounds. But I always remember the 3 stone sticks in my head, and and there was it was successful for me, but it was really an elastoplast over the wound. I hadn't been in fellowship. I was religious. I was going to church. I was, thinking I can do this. I'll be rendered white as snow. I gave up the cigarettes. Alcohol never got me. I had my love affair with the bottle. I'm not going to deny that. But I didn't think that was the thing that was going to get me, the same way that the food was. You can give the other things up. You can't give the food up. You've got to eat. And I never knew how to eat. I never knew how to measure food. I never knew. I had this great proclivity for junk food and sweet things. And, I never knew a healthy, I'd maybe keep that up for a day or so. But anyway, a tragedy did occur in my life. I lost my son in a road accident when he was 18. He was training to be a chef. and he was on his way to work in the morning and his bicycle. And, well, that was, I thought I was finished then. I really did think I was finished, but life did go on as it does, it marches on. But I remarried again. I ran and hid and fled, and that was precipitated. That was it. I remarried, but actually, I didn't run. I tried to escape a bereavement process, and I went from the frying pan into the fire, to tell you the truth. But I had my part in it. I'm not slagging him off. At the time, you think you're doing the right thing.
10 minutes.
How long?
10 more minutes.
10 more minutes. Okay, thank you. But him and I used to go to Weight Watchers as well, and I would do all the preparing and everything. I would do probably
it's 5 more minutes, Jane. I'm sorry.
5 more minutes.
5 more minutes.
Okay. And anyway, so that marriage, needless to say, with its foundation, didn't work at all. But what it did work for is it got me into 12-step recovery, and eventually into Overeaters Anonymous for 8 years, 5 sponsors. Just couldn't be lucky if I got a week's abstinence there. Got me to Food Addicts. I kept wanting to give up a lot, but something has kept me going. Well, my higher power probably, and life does go on. And and Food Addicts, there was an epiphany moment there. I realized that I was an addict. These certain foods would create a cycle. I had that knowledge then. And I came to Weight Watchers. There was so many food that I came to GreySheeters Anonymous, and I ran out the door. I ran a mile. I thought, this is not for me. I've weighed and measured before. No, I'm not doing this. Anyway, I came back not long after with a very, very different. I came with my tail between my legs. I came defeated. I came absolutely desperate. And it was the way that it came about. This woman phoned me from Germany, and she sent me these cassettes it was then, and something was beginning to happen. And this time, I find that in GreySheeters, I got the no matter what. I got hit with loads of social occasions. I'd go to weddings, bar mitzvahs, birthday parties, and I was the one who had to bring my food. But everybody at the table was envying my food. I said, what have you got? What's that you've got? And my food was better than theirs, actually, and that's been the case. That's been, the day I realized I was getting a day and then another day and another day, and I was sourcing it. That's turned into 13 and a third years. And I'm healthy, I'm fit. I've remained the same dress size. I don't take any medication. I contribute all that. I, give all the praise and the credit there to the Grey Sheet food program, because that's what works. That's what worked for me. It works a day at a time, and I'm very grateful for it. I have a feeling of peace after each meal. It's kept me going. And well, I had that lovely compliment from my friend yesterday, and my 5 minutes must be up now. So I don't want to be going over desperately. But anyway, thanks for letting me share, and it's lovely to see you all. So I'll leave it there. Thanks.